everybody, I'm Harry. Welcome back to Around the Campfire, the ultimate summer camp podcast with AmeriCamp. So today I am joined with a very special guest. I am with one of our own brand ambassadors, the amazing Stan. Hi Stan, how are you?
Hi, I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. So, Stan, what we're going to do straight away, we're going to get into the thick of it. We're just going to talk about kind of your camp experience, your journey, and kind of what you do with AmeriCamp as well. So, I'll let you kind of take the floor. If you can just kind of introduce yourself. What camp have you been to, and what do you currently do with AmeriCamp?
I'm currently kind of in uni. I've spent the past kind of 3 summers out at camp, starting in 2022. So I was originally at an amazing special needs camp in New Hampshire called Camp Starfish in 2022. And then kind of following that, sort of awesome. I joined the brand ambassador team with AmeriCamp, which is really, really awesome. I kind of got to know the AmeriCamp team a little bit more and kind of learn a little bit more about the ins and outs of kind of how AmeriCamp works. And then I returned to camp, although I was going to a different camp in 2023. I went to YMCA Camp Kern in Ohio, which I then returned to this past summer. Yeah, that's kind of like camp stuff. And then, yeah, kind of as a brand ambassador, I'm still kind of continuing with that since 2022. The big thing we do is we kind of do all the interviews with AmeriCamp applicants. So it's kind of a great opportunity to kind of have a chat with like the applicants and kind of talk through kind of the experience of camp and kind of why we love it and kind of getting to know why they want to do it and kind of what they're hoping for and stuff like that. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So, you've done, is it 3 years at camp now then, in total?
3 years in total, yeah.
Wow. And you've done two different camp types as well. So what were the two different camp types that you went to, and what was different from the both of them? What made them unique, would you say?
Yeah, so my first camp was a special needs camp. I think the thing that made it kind of so special and so unique was like, well, first we had a kind of one-to-one ratio kind of staff to campers. So that was kind of designed to like help the campers on more of a personal level. It's like obviously they are there to have fun and we're there to kind of give them the best experience possible. But there's kind of also the extra kind of layer of like helping them kind of develop themselves on a more personal level, which I found so kind of like special with the camp. It's kind of seeing the kind of kids in my cabin each session, kind of on the first day they arrived and then like the day they left, kind of seeing that kind of transformation, kind of seeing how important camp has been like in kind of impacting them. It's been absolutely amazing and it was a very, very kind of rewarding experience. And then YMCA Camp Khan is a YMCA camp. My camp specifically, we had like weekly sessions of kids. So they'd arrive on Sunday and then leave on Friday, and then we'd have like Friday night to Sunday morning off. So we did have like 2,500 kids over the summer. So obviously we had a lot of kids. And yeah, it was a really, really kind of great experience because I've had such a diverse group of kids. We would kind of have kids like who'd been going to camp for like sort of 5, 6, 7 years, and then we'd have kids coming for the first time. And then we had this like program where we kind of like were able to kind of bring like underprivileged kids who may not necessarily be able to afford camp, kind of like raise some money to kind of be able to bring them. So we kind of do like initiatives like that, which makes it kind of so special.
Lovely, amazing. So obviously you've got two different camp types under your belt. 3 years, which is like such an achievement as well. I feel like 3 years is a good amount of time because a lot of people, especially who do summer camp work, kind of do 1 year and they might dip the toes into a second year. But 3 years is like a good achievement, so that's really, really good. Because you have did 3 years though, you must have obviously just so many memories. Like you've got two different camp types, you've met so many kids, so many counselors as well. If you could kind of just go into them memories and kind of describe one of them core best memories from any year, what is there anything that stands out, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say there's one kind of memory that kind of stands out, which I had both in my second and third year. It's kind of like very, very similar. So we have this thing called the big game at my camp, which is so we have like a theme camp at my second camp. And each week we have a different theme. So it could be Harry Potter or like Percy Jackson or like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's really, really awesome. And each kind of week we have a big game, and that kind of corresponds to like which theme it is that week. So the big game during Harry Potter week will be a Harry Potter related big game, and have different characters play different characters within this kind of like big game. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of cabins have to go around doing different activities. You have defeat the kind of villain kind of person. And I got to play Draco Malfoy, which was awesome, mainly because I was like the only blonde British male counselor. Um, but yeah, I got to play Draco Malfoy, so I had the wand, I had the cube, I had like the slick back hair, like my hair styed of just like so much hair gel that was stuck in my hair. And I just had like the whole look. I even got myself like a green tie to like kind of make it look just iconic. And I just went around like being like a little bit mean to like different cabin groups and sort of like being an absolute menace. And then it kind of ended with me kind of being like Expelliarmus into the lake at the end, which was always really funny. So I kind of just like jumped backwards into the lake and kind of with like 250 kids just cheering. It's like it's a very kind of like specific and unique kind of memory. It's just so stupid and funny, and yeah.
That is so funny as well because that's like, to me that is so normal. Like, even though that didn't happen at my camp, hearing someone else talk about that just makes you go, that is such a camp activity. Like,
Yeah,
in what world would you dress up as a Harry Potter character and get Expelliarmus into a lake? Like, that is just actually, that is so camp. I love that so much. And it's good
yeah,
because you'll like never forget that as well, and it's like such a good conversation starter as well. Like,
exactly.
that's so funny. But no, I love that you have them good memories, and hopefully if if you go again, if you go for another year, you'll just get like more and more memories under your belt as well, which is just,
Exactly.
it's one of the best things
Yeah.
about the experience, isn't it? It's just having them memories there.
Honestly, it's like and even going back for the third year, there's like memories that I kind of had that I didn't have before, which like kind of going back, like you said, kind of going back if I do decide to go back. I know I'll kind of have similar experiences, but also there'll be those kind of new experiences.
Yeah, totally. It's even, I always say that every year that you go is like a new year, to be fair. Completely new staff usually, like there's obviously always new kids as well. So it is like, it's fresh for everyone who goes, even if you're a returner. Obviously you understand where everything is, you know what the activities are, but the actual experience itself is always going to be unique no matter how many years you go, because it's just constantly fresh people and fresh ideas and fresh personalities. So it's great. I do hope you go again and make some more memories. That'll be great. But if you can like rewind 3 years back, before you even got hired, you were thinking of doing something like this. What were your like expectations when you actually pressed apply and you went to go do it? What were you thinking? Were you like, what is it going to be like? Is it going to be scary? Is it going to be fun? What were your thoughts then?
Yeah, I mean, my first initial reaction when I kind of like learned about like AmeriCamp and kind of like Americans kind of summer camps was kind of the classic kind of parent trap, camp rock kind of I know kind of everyone says that. Like the amount of people I interview who say like some sort of like a movie like is actually insane. And yeah, so that was kind of my initial idea, kind of parent trap, kind of that kind of picture in my head. And then I kind of did learn a little bit more about programming, kind of it does just look like it did just look like such a fun experience, and it was just kind of constant like being stupid and silly and fun and weird, and it did cross my mind like I had never been away from home for like that long period of time. I was kind of away from like friends, family, stuff like that. So I guess going into it, I was maybe a little bit nervous, as I know many people can be, but then kind of as soon as you get there, it's just that those nerves just go away, and like it's just you do have that kind of realization is like it is just such a fun, amazing, silly, stupid, weird kind of summer.
Yeah, no, it literally is like that. And I think loads of people who are first time applicants are always so scared before the goal. And what I always tend to say to people is that everyone's in the same boat. Like, you could be in an orientation bunk with, you know, 5 other people, and some of them might be the most extroverted people you've ever seen, but in the back of their minds they are just as nervous as the person who's really quiet. Like, it's a really daunting thing, but I think I always like to say just put your all into that first week, especially your orientation week. Loads of people tend to leave the program like during orientation because they're too overwhelmed. And I always say you just need to give yourself time to settle in. You like have to wait for the kids to arrive. Then once you actually get in the flow of things, it's just normal. Like it literally is just normal life, even though it's such a crazy normal life. It just becomes part of your regular schedule. It's so fun. Um, so obviously, I'm glad your expectations were all positive, which is great. How did you actually get hired, Stan? Like, how was the hiring process in your first year?
Yeah, so in my first year, kind of specifically, so I was originally on the AmeriCamp Canada program, and Rob was my coordinator. He was really, really helpful. He was very like good at applying. Kind of, I had a couple moments where I was really stressed about something, and he'd like be really like good at kind of explaining to me, kind of talking me through that kind of issue. Um, so yeah, I was originally wanting to go to Canada, just because I'd never been to Canada before. I thought it'd be a really fun experience. And then kind of due to kind of COVID situations, kind of it's all kind of coming out of the pandemic. Basically, Rob called me up one day and he said, "Hey, um, Canadian camps are being a little bit kind of not problematic, but I'm having issues with COVID. Um, like we recommend you to kind of move over to the American program." And I thought, you know what, like America is still like really, really cool. Like, I would still love to go work in America. So I just said, yeah, let's do it. And then this was probably like around March time that this happened. And then I'd say within like a week or two of kind of being moved on to the American program, I had the interview, I got hired. So it was very, very quick once I kind of actually got onto the American program, and then I got hired, and yeah, here we are 3 years later.
Wow. I mean, what a testament to everything happens for a reason. I mean,
Exactly.
you could have literally, if COVID didn't happen, you could have literally just done a year in Canada and then you would never have experienced America at all.
No, exactly. It's like it's kind of people like the kind of like friends I've made and kind of like people I've kind of been able to meet like over the past 3 years. Like I would have never met them if I COVID never COVID never happened.
Exactly. Oh
It's
my God,
absolutely
that is
crazy.
nuts. No, everything does happen for a reason, so I'm glad that you managed to get on AC 100%. Obviously, you just said there that you met loads of people over the last 3 years as well, which is bound to happen when you do the program, which is like such a positive, I think. Friends from around the world is always like the best thing. Did you go traveling with like these friends who you met like throughout the years? Obviously, you've done 3 years. Is there any like staple destinations that you've been that you would like recommend to other people?
Yeah, so in my first year, I only did New York and Boston with some friends. We kind of did have a quite a late finish, and I was kind of getting ready for uni, so I didn't want to spend ages traveling. So we kind of spent, we headed straight out to New York. So my first camp was kind of near Boston, so we got a fixed bus directly onto New York. And there was, yeah, a small bus, and we kind of just did very like touristy things. We kind of went to go see the Statue of Liberty, went to Staten Island. We went to go see a Broadway musical, which was so much fun. And we kind of just, went to Empire State Building. I drove my friends to Wingstop in New York, which was just beautiful. Um, and then we kind of headed out to Boston, had a couple of days there, and then I kind of flew back from there. We got to fly one of those double-decker planes, which was so cool. So my kind of first year. My second year, I did DC, Philly, and New York. This kind of year was a little bit more like solo traveling because I was visiting family friends and staying in New York. So I was kind of able to do that, and I would say DC is so much like so cool. Like I'll definitely recommend going. It's kind of like if anyone kind of listening to Scandal, the TV show, like it's kind of I was a big fan of the show. It was kind of like being able to see like all the monuments and stuff and kind of channel my inner like 11 Pope kind of moment. It was definitely cool. And then this recent summer, we kind of traveled more. I traveled with friends again. I'm actually heading out west this time. So we actually flew from Ohio to San Francisco in a 4 hour middle seat kind of plane journey, which is a bit rough. One of two that I had on that experience, which was definitely not easy. But yeah, we headed out to San Francisco, had a few days there. It was so good. I mean, San Francisco is definitely kind of one of those like staple like places to go visit. I could not recommend that kind of more. And then we ended up going down to LA after that. We had a 9 hour bus journey, which was an experience. It was. I'd say it was an experience. Like it was an experience. But we went into LA, and then we kind of like by the time we got to our hostel, we were staying in Manhattan Beach. It was kind of like the summer setting, and like it was like we just walked along the beach for like half an hour. It was so satisfying to kind of be able to kind of get out of the a 9 hour coach journey to kind of be able to see that kind of classic LA kind of looking at the beach, kind of sunset kind of thing. And then after that, I then headed home. So I had back-to-back night flights via Boston. So I had to spend a couple of hours in Boston again to kind of like go a little bit, and then I headed home. So I would say like the places I've been kind of big kind of staple kind of cities, I guess. I would recommend every single one of them. There's also definitely places that I would love to travel in the future, especially kind of more of the southern states and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That part is really, really good. So,
Wow. I mean, you've done your fair share of traveling there, Stan. Love that.
yeah.
And again, like, it's just, I always like to, like, it's just nice to share that with people who haven't even done the program as well. Do you know, if you just meeting new people on like a night out, or and you start talking, and you like start talking about like all the places you've been in America, and they're like, oh my god, like you've really traveled a lot, and you're like, no, I actually have. Like, there's so many places.
Yeah.
Like, I'm lucky. I've done like the east, the west, and the south. So I managed to do like obviously New York, Miami, Florida, all that. Then I've done the south, so I've done like Nashville, and then I've went over to the west, and I've done like San Fran, Vegas, LA. And it's so funny because San Fran is gorgeous. I just didn't expect it to be so cold. Like, I went
Yeah.
in, it must have been the end of August last year, and I was expecting it to be nice and warm, and it was freezing. And then we'd go to LA, to Vegas, which isn't even that far on a plane ride, and then it's like scorching heat, and you're like, what on earth? But it is gorge. I do really like San Francisco, but walking over the Golden Gate Bridge and walking back is it's a tough walk.
Yeah, it is definitely like, I think definitely the kind of thing that did surprise me was, well, firstly, how big the Golden Gate Bridge is. Like, it is, you kind of do see the pictures and it's obviously a massive bridge, but like, I remember walking up to that and it was so big. And like you said, also the weather, like, I was wearing jumpers and like, had trousers. I was like, this is so cold.
No, literally, and I feel like my tan just like dissolved off my body as soon as I got to San Francisco. I was like, where's my tan? Like, I feel like I'm back in England. But it's a really nice place, and I feel like the people in San Fran are especially really friendly as well. Like, we would get Ubers all the time, and like the Uber drivers would just be so interested in like everything, and I'd be like, oh my god, you're so nice.
Yeah, no, honestly, I remember this one time we were going to, we were heading like in an Uber, and like I think it was all six of us in like an Uber XL, and the guy was probably he was a little bit older, maybe around kind of like I want to say like 80-ish. And like he was wearing a full like suit, like a full like 3-piece suit, and like he was wearing gloves. Like it was like I felt like he was like our personal driver, and I was just like I was not expecting it. And he was wearing like a Tesla, and it was like it was so like professional. And I was just like, this is so cute. And he was just going to chat with him about like San Francisco, and, like his job, like Ubering in San Francisco and stuff. And it was genuinely one of like the most wholesome experiences I've had on my traveling.
See, that is like the epitome of California, I feel. Like of course you're going to get in an Uber with like an 80-plus-year-old like pensioner who's wearing a full suit to drive a Tesla. Like, that is just so California coded.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. Obviously, the traveling that you've done is fantastic, and we like to say this to everyone who wants to do AmeriCamp, that obviously you get the 30 days after your contract ends, like travel around America, which is amazing. If you could sum up to someone who wants to do AmeriCamp, what would you say, as in, why should someone do it? Why do you think someone should do AmeriCamp, Stan, basically?
The experience that you will never get in any other situation. Like, I mean, I've worked in kind of like I've done work placements in kind of like the UK. I've done like at uni. I've kind of had all these different experiences. Like, there's nothing like camp. I know if you speak to anyone who's like gone to camp, they will say the same thing. But it's because like it is true. Like, literally the best experience. Like, I know this is probably a little bit like kind of prejudicing this, but it does affect my life. Like so, it has affected my life so much, and it is literally the best experience. It's a challenging experience, don't get me wrong, but it is an amazing experience. It's literally the most rewarding thing, or one of the most rewarding things. Like I remember in my first year, like our kind of staff training manual thing, on the first page, like there was like a quote. It was like like just like kind of philosophy and stuff, whatever. But it said like, "This is the hardest job you will ever love," and that is just like it is. That is literally how I was summer camp. Like it is the hardest job you'll ever love. So I would just say like if someone's kind of looking into maybe doing this program, I'd just do it. Like embrace everything, take that leap. It is a little bit scary, but like just do it. You will not regret it.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't say it any better. I mean, it is the hardest job that you will ever love, and it's sometimes it's not hard in terms of like the work itself is hard because you are just looking after kids, or you might be like making bracelets all day. Like the work itself isn't hard, but people don't realize that when you're going away from home for this period of time, it just like it affects you, doesn't it? You start to miss home, but then at the same time, you don't want to go home. You just want to stay at camp because you want the experience never to end. And it's such like weird dynamic, but there's a reason that it's just so popular and people absolutely love it. And people might think that we're biased because obviously we both work for AmeriCamp, but I think we're a testament that how good AmeriCamp is because I wouldn't be working with them if I didn't enjoy the program. Like,
Exactly.
if it wasn't for the actual program itself, I wouldn't have this job and I wouldn't be able to kind of market the roles out there because I love it so much that I want to be able to like get more people to do it and experience it. And I just think it literally is the best life experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I say, it's just so different. It's like kind of myself. I thought because we've done it, like we can kind of like properly get excited about talking to people about it. It's like when I'm talking to like people at Italy or I'm talking to friends about it, like my personality is literally camp at this point. Like, and to be fair, it's been a pretty good time. I've got a few friends who've like been interested in signing up because it's non-stop. I'm just like, guys, here's a story about camp. Like, and it's just so like I don't know, like. And it's the same thing if you go to anyone, like, who's going to any camp across the country, I guarantee you they will kind of say the exact same thing. It's kind of, you can just say, like, these kind of bonds over those like, kind of community, like, you can kind of find within camp.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I love camp fairs as well because there's so many people who are thinking of doing the program in one little area and they're all feeling the exact same emotions and excitement and nerves and they have so many questions and that's why I love like when we go as like office members but then you guys come as brand ambassadors or influencers and it's just like a big plethora of knowledge that like these new applicants can feed off as well and kind of get the hype because we always want to make it as exciting as possible. So yeah, it really is one of the best experiences and I'm so glad that you've had 3 amazing years, hopefully another one at some point. But no, I want to thank you again, Stan, for obviously just doing the program, for being an amazing advocate for the program as well, helping out so many new applicants, being a fantastic brand ambassador. And just thank you for kind of coming on here and just sharing your full experience. But thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. I've really enjoyed kind of being here and kind of being able to kind of talk about my experience. It's one of those things like I do love just talking about camp. It's just like I say, it's just half my personality at this point. Like, just love hanging away about it.
No,
So
it is. It's
yeah,
fantastic. But if anybody listening has any questions that me or Stan haven't brushed over today, please feel free to kind of message AmeriCamp on any social media platform. You can email us, you can call us, and we will do our best to obviously respond as fast as we can. But other than that, we are done here. Thank you everyone for listening, and we hope you have a fantastic day. So bye everyone.